Hello, everybody. The moon has been really bright this week, so I really wanted to paint it. It inspired me. And I thought I'd take you along with me while I painted the moon with watercolours. Here I'm just drawing around a round dish that I have to get the shape of the moon. You can use a plate, anything round really. That's an easy way to do it. I would recommend it. So there's my moon shape. I'm just fixing it up a little now. So I'm drawing this on 620 or 640 GSM Arches hot pressed watercolour paper. Here I'm just trying to find the middle so that I can draw my face in the centre. Now this tutorial is really good whether you want to put a face in your moon or not. It would be easier and quicker if you didn't put a face on your moon. I just really wanted to. I just like to add a bit of character to it, make it very illustrative. So I'm just drawing in the nose now, trying to get the proportions right. And I'm just going to add in very basic details just to give me a guide for when I start painting. Just getting the frame of the eyes. So this tutorial is about a half-hour long, and I would recommend that you just fast forward through the bits that aren't useful to you or that you find a little dull. I have sped up most of the tutorial to double time, otherwise it would just take a very long time. It would be a very long video, but that's fine. Double time is good actually. You can still see what I'm doing and it just speeds the video up a bit. Just putting the mouth in now. So this is quite a large sheet of paper. I like to paint large these days. Just gives me a little more freedom. I don't tend to hunch over and get so caught up in all the little teeny tiny details. But this is nearly ready to go. You can see I'm really not adding too much in. Just doing the final touch-ups. It's a bit hard to get it all symmetrical sometimes. Okay, there we are, ready to go. So these are the paints I'm using. I'm using Kutetake Gansai Tambi. They're Japanese watercolours, and they come in these wonderful palettes. They are my favourite paints to use at the moment. So I'm using very watered down pigment here, and I'm going to use this light pink as my first layer of watercolour. This is going to be a pink moon, I decided. So I did draw a few little guidelines of where the dark and light are on the moon. You don't have to do that. They're very light there, so you might not be able to see them, I'm not sure, but yeah, just some light guidelines. You can just do it with the paint, it doesn't matter. So this light pink is going to be in all of the light areas. So I might just let some music play while I get on with this, and I'll come back a bit later. I just grab some paper towel there to kind of mop up any paint where I make a mistake or I go into an area that I don't want to. So what you can do is, while the paint is wet, just dab the paper towel straight down onto it and lift it gently, and that will take the pigment away. But you have to get onto it quite quickly while it's still wet. See that I just took some paint off then. Now I'm trying out some darker pinks to add some tonal variation. I'm going to add in the darker parts of the moon, the big craters with darker pinks. You could do this in any colour really. I think it's really fun to paint the moon in all kinds of colours. The moon is fabulous for getting really free with your painting. There's a lot of room for artistic license, so you can kind of wing it a little bit. I have got in front of me a photograph of the moon on my computer, so I'm using that as a reference. Just a very, very loose reference. So it has where the craters are, but I'm just using it as a very loose guide. I'm just adding a few different pinks in here just to give it some variation and some interest and add some kind of texture into there. Dabbing off some paint. So now I'm adding some darker pigment to the edge of the moon, just to suggest the darker side of the moon. And I'm just painting very loosely now, adding in some circular shapes to suggest craters. And here I'm getting quite bold with the colour. So it can be a bit scary to put on a darker pigment, especially when there's a lot of contrast. But with watercolour, I mean, you can always dab it off with paper towel as long as it's still wet. So don't stress too much. And that contrast will just bring the piece more alive. So it's worth doing. Sometimes you just have to be brave. So this is also giving the piece more shape, a roundness. So you can be very playful, have a lot of fun doing it. You can add water and you can take it away with your paper towel. And as long as the bits underneath are dry, they'll stay there, so you're building up layers of watercolour. So I might just stop there and let you watch the rest of this layer with some music. Okay, I'll come back soon. I'm starting to add a few more details now. So I'm going to bring this face to life. And I'm just using colours that align with this palette that I've chosen. You don't want to use anything that's too much of a contrast in terms of colour. Well, you could, actually. It's up to you. But yeah, if you want that kind of tonal effect, monochromatic effect, you can just stick to like I'm using pinks here, pinks and purpley kind of colours. But this face is starting to take shape now. Okay, so the face is in now, and I think that I'll leave this to dry so that I can add in some more details soon. Right, this piece has been left to dry. It's fully dry to the touch, and that means that I can paint over it now and the paint underneath won't lift. I've got some gouache and I just showed you some watercolour pencils, so I'm going to use them to add in some detail as well. And I have a tube of white gouache as well. I can add in lots of highlights with the white gouache. Gouache is great because you can paint over the watercolours. It's opaque, it's not transparent. Well, you can make it transparent depending on how much water you use. But it can also be opaque, so you can paint straight over the watercolour without it coming through underneath. I will use it both ways here. I've watered it down a little bit. It usually dries a fair bit duller than it looks when it goes on, which is actually good because you won't tend to go over the top with it and you can just build it up. So I'm just adding a bit more contour to the face here. I'll also start to add in more texture onto the moon's surface. The fabulous thing about painting a moon is that you can have so much fun adding in details. I love adding in all the little craters and specks and spots and lumps and bumps. So every moon that you create will have its own personality. Okay, so I'll just let you watch me adding in the details. All right, I'm just adding in the final details now. Our beautiful face in the moon has come to life. It's very restful, sleeping. And just see how I'm having fun adding in these final touches. I think we're almost there. You could just go on for ages playing around with the details. That really is the funnest part. So, there we go. There is our beautiful moon. Later on, I popped in a background. I couldn't help myself. So that kind of just makes it pop out even more. I might even add stars in there later too, no doubt. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you got something out of that, and paint along if you like. Remember to subscribe.